conversation from there. Okay, anyway, we about to go live and all right, I'm just waiting for the notification.
Hey,
And I want to thank you all again.
y'all shouldn't ride like that, bro. Beyonce don't ever claim Houston.
She be saying third ward. All right, here we go. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record, the People's Podcast. This afternoon, I have some very great panelists, ones who are going to give us some information as well as some inspiration. And I look forward to hearing from you all. First of all, thank everyone who continue to watch the People's Podcast. I want to start off by saying, Alaikum Salam, Naima. Thank you very much for watching. Brother Joshua, Jamil out of Houston, Joshua Jamil Muhammad out of Houston, Texas, is definitely checking in. Brother Marvin Sane out of Chicago, and Brother Ronald Muhammad out of Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you all. I look forward to hearing you all's thoughts and opinions. We are in a very serious time and a critical time. Peace, family. Thank you, Mimi, for checking in. Um, the first question I want to ask is, first of all, starting with Brother Joshua, um, how do you feel when you see the video? How did you feel when you saw the video and of countless, police brutality, but especially the last one that seems to be the catalyst of what we are seeing today?
I would say I felt a controlled rage. I'm thinking about in the Bible how it says that the bush was burning, but it wasn't consumed. And the minister teaches us is that God was angry, but his anger didn't consume him or control him. And that's why I feel it's a control rage in that we've seen this before. It made me angry, but I already know that we're at war and that we want to actually, overcome what we're the obstacle that we're looking at, the enemy that we're looking at, that now more than ever, we have to, do what we gotta do, organize our communities because we have an enemy that's gonna keep attacking us. So we can sit around keep pretending we're not at war, but we have casualties on our side. So now it takes, a sane, sober, and serious mindset. And that's how I felt looking at it. Like I was mad, but it's like, it's time. Soldiers see, they say it's time to do what we gotta do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Our brother Marvin in Chicago, how did you feel when you saw the video?
I never really watched the video because I never really watched those videos. I know what's going on, and to watch that is like torture to myself. Why would I embark on that journey knowing I'm about to watch my brother get brutally murdered? And even more so after that, I gotta listen to these stories of these cops walking around outside free. So watching the video for me, it wasn't even an option. But the overall feeling for me is something's got to change. So when everything started happening, I understood. I understood the shorties that were in the neighborhoods taking advantage of the situation. That's gonna happen when you have the ignorance. Yes, those people are ignorant, but their rage comes from a person. They don't have control rage, as my brother Joshua said. They don't have that. They weren't taught that. So they're taking out their anger on their neighborhood. So I understood 100% what was transpiring, but I also understand we gotta kind of tame them and show them the way and give them some guidance, and also continue our peaceful protests. I was woken up this morning on my block, man. I stay on Fullerton. It was a rally of maybe 100 people and cars, all with Black Lives Matter signs. And I'm saying this not to down my black people, but there were no black people out there. These were all people of different races. So this is beautiful. This is people calling this riots and all that. I tell them, no, these aren't riots. This is a revolution happening right in front of our eyes right now. Small or big, it's a revolution. And it's beautiful to see. It sucks that our brother had to be taken from us to kickstart this, but it's beautiful to see people outside. They were on the corner at this corner at Kesey and Fullerton, kneeling, blocking traffic, and in a group, kneeling. Cap was just crucified for that. And short time later, now they understand. So this is it sucks what transpired to get us here, but it's a beautiful place we're in if we look at it the right way.
Okay, yes, sir. And 1 second, brother, I'm coming right to you. My sister Miriam says, thank you, brothers, for sharing your thoughts and feelings. We are loved, valued, and appreciated. Thank you very much, Sister Miriam. Okay, Brother Ronald, how did you feel once you saw the video, sir?
I'm like, brother, man, I don't watch. I got over them videos. I don't watch them no more. I know what it is. Seeing the screenshot and the still of the video with the officer's knee on his neck was enough for me. Watching different pictures and different stills with officers, what only thing I can equate it to in a diamond, protecting him as he has his knee on his neck. For those that don't know what a diamond is, it's a security formation where you make sure your principal, whoever you're protecting, is surrounded. So you got people on his back, on his front, just making sure that he's able to just in plain sight murder this man. It reminds me of modern day lynching. So I'm over them videos, but I think the emotion that comes with it is I'm past rage. That ain't even enough. It's like you get to the point where it's like whatever we got to do. If this is the day we die, this is the day we die. I'm ready to ride. Let's go. And I tell people all the time, because the one thing that I hate when these type of situations happen, from Trayvon Martin to Oscar Grant to brother, is we're never unified. Like never, ever, ever do we. You look on your social media, and if it's 100 people saying, yeah, let's go, it's 50 saying, this ain't the way, calm down, chill out. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, even if we're wrong, we just got to get unified and be like, you know what? Nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, whatever, we're going to do it. So, me and Josh had this conversation 3 years ago with Kaepernick. I love the NFL, and I didn't think boycotting the NFL was going to do nothing. But at the same time, that's what we was doing, so I'm going to do it because I want them to see the unity. Like, yeah, okay, cool. We're not watching it. The blueprint's already been laid out. The minister been told us what to do. Economics is the only thing they're going to respect. But we refuse to stop spending our money with them. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that part bothers my soul, but the unity part is what I'm always looking for. So, the mixed emotions, they're lewd in writing, and this is not what it's about. Burn that bitch to the ground. I can give a damn. Oh, they out there with, on the streets and their knees and protesting. If that's what they want to do, that because everybody got to fight different ways. I see people criticize David Banner and not David Banner. Yeah, not David Banner. What's my band's name? Killer Mike, for doing what he did in Atlanta. And I'm like, Killer Mike been doing this for the last 4 years. He's been on the front line. Whether I agree with it or not, or what he's saying, he really believes. He's really trying. He's really doing what he feels is necessary, whether it's the right way or not. That's not even what I'm saying. But he's doing something. Instead of waiting for somebody to die and getting mad for 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And then reacting. He's been doing something, putting in work, trying to unify, trying to get us together, telling us to get our guns in our house. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like the united front is the part that's really missing every time this thing happens.
Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. And thank you all for your answers. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Brother Joshua, can you give us an experience? Have you ever had any experience with the police, and how did that go?
I mean, not to that extent. I have had a few experiences of racial profiling. I mean, one time I was driving and a cop was in front of me, and I was in the car. At that time, my car was kind of beat up, had a little hoopty. So I was driving, the cop was in front of me, and he came to a stop sign, and he pulled off from the stop sign. I was behind him the whole time. I came to the stop sign, I pulled off. The cop literally stopped in the middle of the street. So I said, I don't know what he's doing. So I started going around him. He get behind me and pulled me over, talking about, I didn't stop at the stop sign, but you in front of me the whole time. How you see I didn't stop at the stop sign? But I knew it was racial profiling, and anytime I come in contact with a cop, I always reflect on what the minister teaches us, what the nation teaches us. We be respectful to authority as long as it doesn't conflict with our religion. We're kind and courteous, up until the point you try to put your hands on me. So thankful to Allah that never happened. No cop ever put their hands on me, because it would have to be a different story then. But I experienced racial profiling, but I haven't had, to this day, I praise to Allah, I had to do what needs to be done.
Okay, great. And thank you very much for your answer. Walaikum salam, Sister Aisha. Thank you for joining us. Okay, bro, Marvin, have you ever had any experiences with the police? And if so, can you share one with us?
All right, so I've had plenty instances where I've been profiled, and we all have. It's a part of their how they police. So that's just gonna happen. But two specific things that come to mind. The second one will be kind of how I feel like I could have been George Floyd. You know what I mean? I literally could have been him. Is what I feel. The first instance I'm gonna talk about is I was walking, literally walking. I'm by my and I got and the police drive next to me, and then they slow down. It's like, okay, y'all know me. I'm a hoop star. This is what I did. I roamed the city. That's all I. So I'm like, man, I know I don't look like somebody that needs to be, So I'm like, what's going on? So of course they come here, son. Yes. What you doing out here? Walking home, man. Like literally doing nothing, walking home. So they're like, can we get your name and your information? I'm like, what's this about? I'm like, I'm literally just walking. And they're like, we just need your name and information. It's like, okay. So of course you comply. You give them your name and information. But it's like, why? Most people don't have to go through this in their neighborhoods, in good neighborhoods. But we do, for simply walking around. And the second instance, I had just left my house. I had literally just left my house. I was one block over. I got pulled over by detectives, and they said y'all know this, it's classic. We had a call that somebody was doing break-in cars that match your description. Again, I just left the house one block ago. Okay? Now, these cops were the worst of the worst because they instantly grabbed me. So I understand the idea that maybe I'm supposed to at this point I don't believe I'm supposed to do anything but comply, even if they put their hands on me, because I feel like I could be George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Grab me, they put me on the hood of the car and shove my face into the hood of the car, right? So they got he got kind of like his forearm like in my back, and I'm like this, with my face on the car, and they asking me questions. And I'm like, man, why y'all doing all this, man? I just told y'all I literally just left the house. And before I could even, give an answer to what I've been doing, I'm already on the hood of the car. Feel what I'm saying? So as a teenager, this is me as a teenager at this point. How am I supposed to feel about police for the rest of my life, bro? Like, there's no way I could trust knowing that in the back of my mind, they either it was the biggest coincidence on the planet Earth at that point, or they profile. And we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I was just fortunate enough that they weren't super rugged and try to rough me up. But George Floyd wasn't fortunate enough to have that same courtesy, or it wasn't even courtesy, but just that same, I'm sorry, I lost the words, but just to live, bro. He didn't get a chance to live. He's gone. So this is the stuff we deal with in our neighborhoods on a regular basis. Our children, teenagers. I was a teenager, man. There's people younger than me that's going to go through that. That's going to traumatize them. That's going to cause tension between police. So no wonder you get people who antsy. You get some black brothers that's ready to pull their guns on the police. You feel me? That's just how they feel. That's real. That's real fear of them being killed for no reason. That has to change some way. So again, that's I understood everything that transpired. The anger, everything. The anger is from years of these children probably being profiled, beat up by the police, mistreated by them, knowing they're not policing our neighborhoods. In Chicago right now, why do you think the west side and the south side got hit the hardest? Because they protected downtown and left them neighborhoods to dry. I live in Logan Square, bro. It wasn't nothing going on in my neighborhood. You know why? Because they police in my neighborhood, bro. So you expect these brothers to know what you up to see what you up to, and not burn your city down. You gotta be crazy if you expect these young brothers not to burn your city down. We don't condone that. It's not right. But think about the cause that it's for. That's for a real cause. It's for peace. They burning the city down for peace. If you support the troops in Afghanistan and overseas for murdering those innocent people for supposed freedom, then you got to support these looters for this. It's the same type of cause. If not, you hypocritical in your thought.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, Brother Marvin. And thank you all for watching. My sister Naima says shaking her head. That's sickening. Okay. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Okay, Brother Ronald, we're going with you. Have you had any experiences with the police? And if so, could you share one?
I do. I just want to put a little note in there. The looting process. Let's go back to that later on because I got a theory about all that. But anyway, 2 run-ins with the police that stick in my mind. My first time ever, I don't know what I was doing. I was like leaving my girlfriend's house, but for whatever reason, it was like 6 a.m. And it wasn't like I could spend a night with her because I was still living with my parents and she still lived with her. So I don't know what we was doing. But I was driving home early. You know how you be cruising. I don't even think the music was on. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoying the sunlight. And a cop pulled up next to me. He drive off. I'm at a stop sign. We pull off, whatever. He gets behind me, pulls me over and says, I was rubbing my tires, like screeching my tires. I'm like, what? No, I wasn't. Like, what are you talking about? Wasn't even speed, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make no sense. So I'm looking at him, and at this point, I guess the teachings and the lessons is in me because I was being respectful and all that. But I was more concerned with, I'm borrowing my parents' car. They ain't gonna let me use the car no more if I get a ticket. Like, I'm hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's this dude doing? So I'm like, yo, bro, you tripping? Ain't nobody screeching no tires. I don't know if it's an oil slick back there or something, but that ain't happened. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, the man gave me a ticket. I'm heated. I go home, tell my parents what happened. They're not really upset, probably because they've been down that road before, just being profiled or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The thing that stuck out was when I called the court to take care of the ticket, I told him I wanted his badge number and I was gonna make a complaint because nothing happened. I told the cop this. When they put in the ticket number, there was no ticket found in the system. So I'm telling the lady, like, I got a hard copy of the ticket. Like, I know he gave me a ticket, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't put it on his end. And that always stuck with me. It was like, damn, you knew you was wrong, but that's just the harassment things you do. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, if I'd have acted stupid or got wild or tried to run or whatever, we would have had a whole other ball game, but I was never wrong in the first place. So that always stuck with me, you know, dealing with police later on. My second instance, my ex-wife had the car and like the tire went out. So she called me. I called my father to take me over there to her on the freeway to change the tire out. We get there, the police is there. And the cop is like in my ex-wife's face yelling and shit. Move this fucking car. What the hell is wrong with you? You can't park here, blah, 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 blah. So I walk over there. Hey, brother, you know, sorry, peacefully. You know, I just got here. I'm about to change the tire now. Move this fucking car. All right, dude, I just told you I just got here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Move it now. Bro, yell at me again, we're going to have an issue. Like, now you trying to punk me in front of my woman. I done came at you the right way. Mind you, this is not a white man. This is a short, 5'4" Mexican man. And Josh, you probably know me better than most. At this point, your badge means absolutely nothing to me. You done lost all your authority. Look here, little dude. I will throw your ass into this traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, me and him was going at it. I was like, bro, I told him, I was like, you got a Napoleon complex, and I don't care nothing about your badge. Thank Allah, my father got out the car. He was just sitting in the car waiting for me to change his tire and came and grabbed me and was like, boy, they will kill you. And we went on to change his tire and went about our business. Same thing. I asked him for his badge number and name and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But as Mark said, it's the way they're trained. It's the way that, you know what I'm saying? It's abuse authority. It wasn't a white man. This is a Mexican brother. And like, your training is to abuse your authority. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, the reason I got set off so bad was because when I pulled up, he was yelling at me. And like literally, y'all know women, she was like hysteric. Like pulled over on the side of the road. My ex-wife was 130 pounds or something. You know what I'm saying? Little woman. And this dude is just in her face yelling and tripping like she put somebody's life in danger or put his life in danger or something by having a flat tire. It was just utterly ridiculous. So those two really stick out with just abuse authority.
Yes, sir. And thank you all for your experiences, and thank you all for sharing your experience. And I'm happy that we all here to have a conversation and nothing went the other way. My sister Naima said, "Teach Brother Marvin, absolutely right." But Sister Tracy, something like him, she says, "I think a lot for young brothers are here talking about it. Cops with no moral compass is the problem, regardless of the color. For white supremacists and black inferiority complexes fuel the fire. Our unity is indeed key." That's right, Sister Tracy, and thank you for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. I had a question about, I'm sorry with you, Brother Joshua, with dress code. So I grew up in the suburbs around, very diverse community around majority white people. My mom didn't let us do the do-rags before trade mine, no hoods, nothing like that. Brother Joshua, how has your experience been as far as your dress code? Do you feel you have to change it or turn your hat to the front if a police officer around? Do you make adjustments based off of your how you dress if you know you're going to interact with the police? You on mute, bro, Josh. You on mute, bro, Josh. You on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah, my bad. So I would say I definitely do that. In certain instances, definitely try to look the most presentable as you can. Number one, just to look presentable, and number two is it's a defense mechanism that we learned just being in America. Don't ever want to make yourself as less of a target as possible. But even to that note, I would say, to be honest, it really it's so much you can do when it comes to just dressing the part, because I can't take off this black skin. And so because I can't take off this black skin, and that's my wardrobe 24/7, then I'm automatically a target no matter how much less of a target I try to make myself. And I know brother talked about training, is also just, you got some cops out here who just, have no moral compass, just completely racist. And you can be looking the flyest suit on, driving a nice little car. They'll pull you over just because you're in a nice car. I was literally talking to one of my family members about that yesterday, who they were saying they was driving and they got pulled over, and the cop told them, they told the cop, because they was kind of mad when they was talking to him, they told the cop, "You just pulled us over because you're a black person in a nice car." And the cop said, "Yeah, that's right." And so at the end of the day, there's so much you can do, but just being black in America, I can't dress that off of me, can't take that off of me. And so that's always something that we have to deal with.
Yes, sir. Welcome salam, Brother Mark. Welcome salam to Latasha. And thank you very much, Sister Miriam. My next question is for you, Brother Marvin. Have you ever tried to make an adjustment with your dress code, and do you feel like that's effective?
I always dressed sporty, so it wasn't really a huge thing for me. But what I have learned is, I noticed that it, like brother said, it don't even matter, bro. It don't matter what you're wearing if you're a black man. You could be in a suit, and you know what I mean, they still gonna profile. So it's best to not adjust, not confine what you want to feel comfortable every day to so you can make sure you ain't getting profiled. Be who you are, and when that time comes, you adjust on the fly. But I used to think, man, do I need to change my and then I threw that out the window, man. I'm a thrifty person. I hit the thrift store. I'm gonna find something fly. If I like it, I'm gonna wear it. You feel what I'm saying? Period. I ain't gonna worry about if the police gonna maybe maybe I should take off my hood. Maybe I wear my hat front and back, but that shouldn't even mean nothing to the police anyway. They don't, you know what I mean? That really shouldn't mean anything. That's not an excuse to pull you over. That just shows that their tactics are beyond horrible. So, I learned to dress how I'm gonna dress and worry about it. But you do carry yourself, in a certain way though. Certain things you could do and how you carry yourself to avoid. I see people out driving reckless, you know what I mean? Then ask why they profile. No, bro, you was driving reckless. You looking for attention, then you got the attention. So it's all about carrying yourself the right way. that if you carry yourself the right way, what do they have to pull you over for? And then when they do pull you over, you ask politely. Like Brother Ronald said multiple times in his conversation so far, excuse me, sir, can I have your badge number? What is your badge number? Matter of fact, can I get your supervisor? You know, and when they pull you over, I don't feel comfortable pulling out my ID while I'm sitting in the car. Can you pull me out and take me to the back of the car? I feel much more comfortable like that. You know what I mean? Little things to save you discomfort and to show them, you know, you could be a dick, but I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I know how to avoid the confrontation. I'm going to make sure that we both get through this situation.
Yes, sir. Okay. And bro, and thank you all for seeing the Watch the People's podcast. All right, bro, Ronald, have you ever made any adjustments to your dress code in an attempt to be less profile?
So absolutely not. But I also made an adjustment in my thinking process before that hand. And what I mean by that is, it seems like all of us are in a similar age range. We come from the era of, especially I know Marvin, a hooper, sandals and white socks. You might have your do-rag on, you might have your hoodie on or whatever, and some basketball shorts. So we chill. So when I used to get in the car, that's how I first of all, back in the Air Force One days and all that, we wasn't even wearing our shoes when we drove. We put our slides on so we don't, you know what I'm saying, bend the shoes.
Yeah.
So that's just what it was. And then you realize the hour that we in and we at war. Because I'm not going to be George Floyd. I'm fighting. I can't fight in sandals like I need to get down. Like if it goes there, the slides ain't gonna really. That's problematic. You know what I'm saying? So the thought process of changing for security reasons kicked in. Never because I was profiled, but just you never know what's coming. And when I pull up on some foolishness, I might got time to put on my shoes and go into the party. But if something really crack off, I ain't got time to throw my shoes on, lace them up tight, not like that's already got to be done. You know what I mean? So it's just the mindset of the hour that we in. And the thought process of we are, you know, unfortunately, most of us feel like it ain't real till it happens to us or till it happens in our backyard. You know what I'm saying? Until we know the person. I forget what movie it is, but it's a famous line where the brother, he was getting harassed and he said that nobody you killed was a somebody. You know, it just so happens that George Floyd knew Steven Jackson. So there's an immediate, you know, NBA player with a platform who can get other NBA players and celebrities and stars, and Jamie Foxx can show up because they from the same neighborhood. So that don't always happen. You know what I'm saying? That don't always be the reality of it. There's been plenty of people who've lost their life here in Phoenix who, quote unquote, was just people, but didn't have big wig support, didn't have big wig fanfare. And, you know, who knows why what becomes famous or a bigger altercation. You know, we unfortunately we make a big deal because it's on film, but it's happening in every other case. It's happening in every other case. I mean, every other city, and it's not being filmed. I never think to pull my phone out. So if it happened to me, it probably ain't gonna be filmed. You know what I mean? So the reality of it is, just because it's happening or not being filmed, don't mean it's not happening. So for me, it's being mindful that it could go down. So I better have my security mind sharpened and ready.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you all for your responses. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. My next step is for you, brother. I mean, my next question for you is, brother Joshua, what is your individual steps that you are going to take moving forward for a solution individually, not for the humanity, not for Black people, not for the community, just you? What are your individual steps that you are going to take?
First, I gotta say, I just noticed your hat, so I definitely got to call that out. Definitely, I just noticed that. Let me go ahead and make a note of that. So definitely love that hat. But yeah, individually, that's a good question. I'm always thinking big picture, but I would say individually for me, it's about being the best Black person I can be. And of course, we taught that self-improvement is the basis for community development. So one is going to lead into the other, but looking at how Black life is so devalued in America, it would be not good of me to sit and just waste time and not achieve what Allah God put me on this planet to do. And whether that's, just improving myself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, economically, whatever it is, like that's a duty that I have to God, because He put me in, also to myself and to the people that either look up to me or people that have invested in me. And so that's something just individually that I'm definitely, if I wasn't doing it already, definitely up the ante on and say, yeah, my life does have value in America, but I'll make sure my life matters. If you say Black Lives Matter, make sure my life matters as much as I can.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, bro, Marvin, what are your individual steps that you're going to do moving forward?
I believe it's gonna take a lot of community to get us back to where we need to go. So I've been trying to unite the people, and I know I seem angry. If you watch my Facebook lives, I seem really, really angry. But I'm actually really, really happy because we got a lot of ears at right at our disposal now. So individually, I feel like I need to express the things that some of our people who don't understand systematic oppression, I need to express those things at the top of my lungs right now. This is the time to be speaking truth right now. No matter how scared we are, no matter how we feel like that truth might seem, uncomfortable for our people, we have an obligation for truth and to spread truth to our people right now. And the truth is, unity is the most important thing. Brother Ronald said it. We need to come together. Yes, our neighborhoods got torn down, but see, we thinking about it the wrong way. I'm excited for the probability of bringing everybody together and cleaning up our own neighborhoods. That's teaching us togetherness. We shouldn't even be worried about our neighborhoods. That's a small thing to a giant. That cleanup is nothing. If we have each other, we have everything. So preaching that to the people for me is, I know that I'm saying individual, but I, it's my individual goal to preach to the people, to say what everybody else is afraid to say, because everybody's walking on eggshells because of the time we live in. Ain't no time for walking on eggshells. We've done that too long. Our ancestors done that too long. That's why the minister gotta, keep doing what he doing at whatever age he is, because we ain't stepped up our game. The minister should be retired, man. He shouldn't have to do nothing for the rest of his life. But he's still out here telling us. Why is he still preaching? That's gotta stop, man. He should be able to live till he's 130, because we know it's possible. He looked great. He should live to 130. Yeah, he shouldn't have to worry about nothing. Let's take the weight on our shoulders and let's preach the truth to the people, and let's unify and get it done now, right now.
Yes, sir. Okay, excellent teacher, Brother Marvin. My sister says, all praises to Allah. Mimi says, you have every right to be angry. And Sister Aisha says, yes, sir. Thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Brother Ronald, what are your individual steps that you want to take as far as bringing about a solution?
It's a good question. Us four brothers are all very unique individuals in our upbringing, our knowledge of self, and growing up with the knowledge that this day was coming and it's only getting worse. So one of the main things that I've been trying to do is prepare people without invoking my religion. Because I have real good friends, family members that are not going to believe Islam, are not going to believe the white man is the devil or the Illuminati or whatever the belief may be, that are not going to go for that part, but they know it's real. So like literally I had a conversation with a brother of mine till about 3 a.m, and he kept asking me, well, what's the nation of Farrakhan gonna do? What's the nation of Farrakhan gonna do? And, I'm laughing and joking, like, brother, I invited you to 10, 15. The minister been doing it. That's why the man March happened, whatever it was like. And he kept saying to himself, he said, but it's different this time. The government got to call him. I said, what? He said, yeah, the government's going to call him. And I was like, no, the government's not going to call Farrakhan, bro. No, trust me, they got to get a piece of this. And I was like, listen, he's not. And he took the stance that if the government called Farrakhan, Farrakhan wouldn't respond because of Minister Farrakhan's arrogance. And so I had to, you know, righteously spank him a little bit because it has nothing to do with Minister Farrakhan's ignorance. But you're not making a deal with the devil. I'm not going to sell my people out to calm them down to save you and your cities because you started this fire. Because I got plenty of videos from the 80s to the 90s to 2000s telling you this fire was coming if you didn't change your ways. It wasn't too much long ago, the minister's clip, when the white boy, Dylan Roof or whatever, and they stopped and got him a burger at Wendy's. And the minister said, we'll tear this country up. Like the people are unhappy. It wasn't too long ago when he was talking about Sister Tamika Mallory and the women's movement, about how angry and upset the people was. Not black people, not Muslims, the people. Like Marvin said, these ain't all brothers in the streets. Matter of fact, it's less brothers in the streets.
Man.
And the reason is because we got this fear in us for some damn reason. White folks don't, white privilege kicks in. They're not going to spray and bomb us. Out here in Phoenix, there's a Scottsdale Mall, Scottsdale Fashion Square. 3-level mall. We talking about Louis Vuitton, Prada, them kind of stores in that kind of mall. Just the best of the best. They went out there Monday night, Sunday night, and tore that mall apart. Tore it up, breaking in stores. I got a friend who actually owns a clothing store in there who was in there recording live because he was defending his store, had abandoned some of his employees and friends in front of his store to make sure the looters didn't get to his store. So I got a lot of like visuals of them really just smashing up windows and running out with Louis bags and Coach purses and this, that, and the third. And his report, I wasn't there, his report, it's 40% white, it's 40% Hispanic, maybe 20% black. That was his report. Although the videos I saw, I didn't see one black person in it. So I'm saying they have a fearlessness in they not gonna do, because let's be clear, we can't keep acting like they care about us. Because if that was the Crips and Bloods that went to Scottsdale and looted that mall, they would have locked them doors, SWAT would have came in and dealt with everybody a different kind of way. But because it was young rebellious white kids, the same way they can rebel and be turning over cars because the Patriots won a Super Bowl or because Golden State won a Super Bowl, they can celebrate. They can let their frustration and anger out or whatnot. They know what our frustration and anger brings. It's the destruction of America. So for me, personally, it's my children. Like Marvin said, it's educating and teaching these people that are around, because what I told them, I'm telling many, Allah gave us a little test run with the coronavirus. We was locked in our house for 3 months. I said, that's a real quiet calm before the storm. If you think it's all good now and you back to BS and you stupid, you better keep stocking your toilet paper. You better keep stocking your canned goods. You better keep stocking your water, because it's not going to let up. And this is, you can see it now. Like when we was younger, for me, I don't know about everybody else, it was hard for me to see sometimes. When, you know, this attack on the black man and martial law is coming and how we going to look like Iraq and Iran pretty soon. It was kind of hard to see. And then I can see it now. Oh, snap. Okay. This is the play. Because we're so ignorant, not in a negative way, but ignorant as in not knowledgeable to what's really happening in the world. When coronavirus hit, white people immediately stocked up. Their houses was already stocked, but just in case. My 6-month supply run out, let me get some more. We was the one on cheapflights.com saying, oh snap, I can go to Miami for the first time for $30. That was us. Not taking it seriously, not realizing what hour we in, you know what I mean? So it's for me, it's really trying to not only bridge a connection to what time it is and where we're really at, but then build a connection to the unifying part of it, because we need each other. Period. We need each other. I got, you know, we can't be, that's why the Muslims are taught to fast, because the food in our house really ain't for us, it's for our neighbors. Because at the end of the day, I can't know you and say you my brother, but because you were ignorant to what I knew at a young age, I'm gonna let you and your family starve. That ain't real. That's not love. I love people that are not in the Nation of Islam that don't know like we know. So I can't act like because I'm good. Oh, too bad, homie. You know what I'm saying? That's not realistically. That's not who we are. I remember one time, Brother Tony said, Minister Tony, I forget, please excuse me, he has a holy name now. He changed, he had said one time, he said, that's not really us. We not really killers. We are deliverers of life. So if you harm our family, sure, we can retaliate. Sure, I can take a couple heads. But if we kill 10 people, after a while, we're going to be like, man, I don't like this. I don't want to take no more life. That's not really who we are. I want to save lives. We are natural life givers and life savers, man. And when we see people taking life, the only way I can combat it, and we should be combating it, is to help teach how to save. That's why the FOI training is so important. How to deal with the police. You know, when people are ignorantly screaming out, "Where's the nation and where's Farrakhan at?" Like the minister said, you want me to lead a revolution to get killed? You want me to run people out into the streets to face the tanks and the bombs and because we know what they'll do to us. So the white people, as brother Josh sent me the video of Brother Derek, these white people in the streets is our allies right now. Whether they think the same, see the same, that ain't even the point. They are allies right now because they not gonna do it to them, but they'll do it to us without a shadow of doubt. And the point is to preserve as many lives as possible. Period. We're gonna lose some. It is what it is, but we got to preserve as many as possible.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And thank you, Brother Ronald. Thank you all. And thank you for sitting to watch People's Podcast. I want to read some of the comments. Sister Tracy says, speak on our nature. If we were really killers, we wouldn't be fighting for justice the way we are right now. Sister Naima says, go ahead, Brother Ronald. Good teaching. Sister Tracy says, beautiful. The minister has been faithfully teaching us and what's unfolding right in front of our eyes. Facts. Sister Miriam says, true. Sister Naima says, right, so true. I think this is our brothers and sisters in Atlanta are built a little different. They ran up in Phipps Plaza and Lennox fearless. That's right. Sister Tracy said, speak on that fear. Brother Joseph said, speak, bros. Sister Naima said, that's right. Our unity is the greatest weapon. So Latasha says, right. Sister Naima, praise the Lord. Says, yes, sir. Okay, thank you. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. I want to keep it on this high note that we have. I wanted to give you all a chance to hear from Phoenix, Houston, and Chicago. And of course, I'm in Atlanta right now, to see that the similarities that we have and the positive minds coming together for something positive. I didn't want us to feel hopeless and then nobody gave us a voice. Brother Josh, I want to thank the People's Podcast. Do you have any last remarks, sir?
My last remarks would be to go back to what the minister presented, or been presenting for a minute, for 65 years now, but definitely in 10-10-15, when he talked about the 10,000 fearless. And I got to give a shout out to Atlanta, because you've been one that's been, you and Minister Sharif really been pushing the 10,000 fearless down there, is that he told us to come back into our neighborhoods, conflict resolution centers, get in between the guns of the gangs, and take over our communities. And the reason that's so important is because a lot of times they'll have the conversation, white folks will bring up black on black crime, really to try to divert from cops killing us. But when you think about if you that should be a hint to us and some wisdom in that, because if you go on to war and you trying to fight a revolutionary war, at the same time you trying to fight a civil war, and minister said we have a war on two fronts, then you're not going to be successful in doing that. So if we are trying to do this revolution, they keep asking what the nation been, what we've been at for the past 90 years, asking you all where y'all been at. And we've been amongst our people, organizing and building our people, because we trying to go to war. You can't go to war being this disorganized. If you looked at the cops that come to these protests, like the brother that talked about the cops that was in front of, had the diamond in front of, I don't really know that because we familiar with military tactics. They had the diamond in front of the cop's house. You think you gonna overcome that by randomly going out into the streets and throwing stuff? You think you're gonna overcome an organized force being disorganized? And so our unity in our organization is the key. And I believe what Minister Farrakhan presented in 10-10-15, the 10,000 fearless going back into our communities, taking it over, training up the brothers to be the protectors and the owners of their communities that's killing each other now. That's the key. And that's how we form that base, that organized base, that then we can put up some resistance to the forces that are coming against us. So that's really what it is. So that's for those of us that's asking what the nation is, that's where we at. And if you want to come and join this fight, then we welcome you.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent, Brother Joshua. Okay, and thank you. Brother Marvin, any closing remarks, sir?
I think the time we're in is beautiful. I know it's hard to see that. I know it's hard to look through all the looting that we've seen, the destruction of property, and everybody just being so on edge about the coronavirus and this latest stuff that's transpired. But if you look around the world, bro, it's not just the U.S. Around the world, it's an uprising. In 2000 it started. It was a lot of little revolutions going on all over the place. And then 20 years later, I figured it would start being amplified, but no way nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this many cities going up in flames. This is a time that our parents never seen and their parents never seen. This generation, and the minister been saying that for the longest, fearless. And I'm learning so much from them, and I'm gaining confidence, and the spirit of them is leading me to get out here and be as fearless. We got to take responsibility for not doing what they doing, for not being who they are, because this should have been happening. So now let's get behind the youth and ride with them, ride their coattails, and stand behind them and with them. And we can give them guidance along the way. It's give and take. We learn from them, they learn from us. Let's not act like the youth don't have the internet and they're not a lot smarter than we are. They are. They are. They're advanced. So I just believe that we need to look at the beauty in the situation, the beauty in knowing that we can clean up our neighborhoods, and knowing that we can turn this upside down, that we can turn this tragedy into triumph like Black folks been doing for 500 years. This is a small thing to a giant to us. We've always overcame things like this. When people say this is big, it's not really. It's not. Black folks overcame everything we have in the past. It's just small, man. But it's big because it's so colossal in the sense that there's so many states joining and there's so many white people finally on our side. At first, it was minimal. They was tucked away. They was like, yeah, Now they up and down the streets blowing. Beep, 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 beep. Wake y'all ass up. This morning, I'm telling you, bro, they was blowing the horn all morning, waking the neighborhood up. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I maybe seen 3 Black folks, bro. This is hundreds of people walking and another 40 or 50 people driving, if not more than that. So this is beautiful, bro. Embrace the time that we living in, even if it's chaotic. There was always great anarchy before there was great progress. Always. There's never been a time where our peaceful protests led to great change. So we can't live in a fairy tale world and expect that to happen today. We got to accept our reality and live in it. Grab these shorties by the coattail, give them some guidance, and listen to them. They understand and they know some things that we need to understand. Togetherness and unity, that's obviously the base of all of our conversations and all of our ending points. It will be.
Beautiful. Excellent. And thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Brother Ronald, your closing remarks, sir.
For the Muslim community, believing community, I would say that it's time to tie everything together. We've always been taught that prayers without works is dead. And one thing that I see is we are very critical of people's works and in people's political stance and views. It doesn't really matter to me what my brothers think or don't think about this, that, and the third. What matters to me is they works. So if you talking and you not working, it don't mean nothing. If you praying on something and you really believe in God, but you not working towards what you say you believe in, it really don't matter to me. So when we have the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest debates you have between blacks right now is as soon as a brother says all life matters, somebody gonna call him a handkerchief head, coon ass nigga, da 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 da. And hey, that might be how you feel. That might be how I feel, to be honest with you. It don't matter though. If I'm not working towards implying that Black Lives Matter in and out the community, it doesn't make a difference. If that person's not working to bridge a gap between the whites and the blacks in the community and all lives, it don't matter. Y'all just talking. Y'all just arguing. Another divide and conquer tactic. The most scariest and one of the most beautiful pictures in the world is when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is meeting with Martin Luther King, because it's two sides of a coin that want the same thing. You can disagree and want the same thing, period. You know what I'm saying? And it's when we start to realize we want the same thing, you realize you need each other. I'm not the valid booth guy. I'm not voting for none of these dudes. I'm not going to write no petitions. I'm not signing nothing. That ain't me. But if you need somebody to light the Molotov cocktail when that shit don't work, I got you. But at the same time, go ahead and write that petition up and go vote. So that way, when I throw this Molotov cocktail, we tried that shit. It didn't work. My brother was just over there writing petitions. Y'all didn't want to listen. Kaepernick took the knee. You didn't want to listen. You wanted to dog him out and blackball him. So that wasn't going to be me. Y'all wasn't about to hit me. I remember I was blessed to be in Ferguson, Missouri, a year after Michael Brown to do a documentary. Now, mind you, I said a year after Michael Brown was murdered to do a documentary, small documentary called Bars for Justice that we did. And they were still rallying, still protesting, still having problems with the police. The people in the streets were still wearing gas masks, was still doing a bunch of things. Dr. Cornel West was there and some other really big religious figures, and they was running these rallies. So just a quick story. When we got there, it was a Sunday. Sunday night was the concert. Common was there, Talib Kweli was there, Mortal Technique, a couple other rappers and whatnot. We got all access because my man had a camera, Hakeem. Shout out to Hakeem and his beautiful wife, family, helping put the documentary together. We get out there, we got all access. We on stage, literally just filming everything. This is beautiful, this is dope. The people, it was a free concert. All you had to do was bring some stuff to help the unfortunate. During the concert, the police that was still fighting with the people in Ferguson had shot somebody else. I don't think the brother died, excuse me, in Ferguson. So while that happened, they made the announcement during the concert, and I'm telling you, you felt the wind go out the room. Everyone at the same time was just like, damn, again? After this beautiful concert, Common that came out and rocked the stage, and Talib Kweli and all these rappers that wanted to do something positive, damn, again? So mind you, we had never been there. We not from there. We wanted to go see what was going on. So we had to leave Ferguson. So Ferguson's 15-minute drive from St. Louis. So we driving and we can't get there. You get to the streets and it's blocked off. Get to another street, go a different way, it's blocked off. If you don't have an address in this neighborhood, you can't come in this neighborhood, right? So we go back to the hotel because it's dangerous. Like, it's really real. It's really going out. And the next morning, Dr. Cornel West and them was having a protest at this church. And I'm not the kumbaya guy. So Jasiri, brother Jasiri out of Pittsburgh, he jumped in with Dr. Cornel West and them and was marching down the street because he's in that activist lane. My brother was filming and I was like, I'm gonna watch everybody. I'm just kind of standing off to the side watching things. I'm noticing as we march, there's a police escort. I'm noticing as we march into the courthouse that there is already police tape and a barricade set up. So they knew we was coming because we told them that we was coming, not because they set us up, because it's a game. When we got there, I'm looking inside the building, there's these glass doors. There's 300 police inside ready to arrest the protesters with zip ties. Police don't normally carry zip ties. They carry handcuffs, but they knew what they was doing that day. So they had their zip ties out. So people kept marching. Some of them hopped the barricade. The ones that hopped the barricade got arrested. I want to say 80 something arrests. I don't know if this is the exact time, but it's around the same time when Jay-Z helped bail the people out. And all I'm thinking to myself is, we mad at the police. We're upset with their injustice, but we just all paid $250. I didn't, because I didn't get arrested. That's not my way. But they just all paid $250 to post bail to the department that we upset with. So it didn't make sense to me, but I knew that some of them people had to go through that. Some of them people had to try it that way. Some of them people had to march, had to get on the ground, hands up, don't shoot. That ain't never gonna be me. But if that's what you gotta go through, I got your back. I go do what you gotta do. So then when it's time to ride, we can all ride together. So for me, it's unity. I'm not gonna bash nobody who disagrees with me. I'm not bashing nobody who don't feel the same way I feel. If you want to vote, if you like Trump, I don't care about none of that. If you think George Floyd did something wrong, whatever, brother, go figure it out for yourself. And then when we get on the same page, we rock it, period. Because it's only going to be our unity, that's going to get us through this, period. And, Josh, I appreciate you for having us on, having this council. This is one of them things that everybody needs to say how they feel. Whether you say it on a podcast, whether you say it to a friend, whether you write a letter or a note or something to yourself, it's therapeutic, because we have feelings inside, emotions inside that we will hold on to, especially if we have children and loved ones that we don't want to deflect off onto them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go off on my son because I'm irritated at the world. I don't want to treat my daughter harsh because I'm irritated at the world. So when you have something like this where you can get it out and have dialect and dialogue, then it's time to move forward. So prayers without works is dead, man. Let's go to work, period.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
care what work we doing, let's go to work.
Let me say something. Ronald don't ever
Oh, Marvin.
I just seen the soft side of Ronald, y'all. I didn't even know like that, y'all. I didn't know that was possible.
Hey, the funny thing about that, Marvin, is it's funny you said that. I think Josh might have seen it a couple times. It's like the Hulk on Avengers. When he asked the question, Iron Man kept asking him, how do you control your anger? And he was like, you want to know my secret? I'm always mad. Yeah. I'm laughing and joking as much as I do because I hate it every day of what's happening. Not because, like you said, it's a beautiful time. It has to happen. I'm not looking for the resurrection of this world. I'm looking for the destruction of it. So I know this has to happen. I'm waiting for it to ramp up. I'm just hoping and praying that I'm able to help myself, my family, and as many others as I can to be prepared to withstand this trial, because it's going to be a bitch. Like, it ain't no way around it. It's going to suck. We're going to lose a lot, but it's the only way you purify. The only way you get over your sickness is to get sick, period. You know what I'm saying? You got to cough. You got to spit it up. You got to have your fever and sweat it out. If you try to maintain it, it ain't going nowhere. I don't want to maintain this shit. I want to burn it to the ground.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, thank y'all for coming on the People's Podcast. Thank you all for watching. In an hour, I'm going to try to keep the mood light. I had to deal with some serious topics, what's going on. But I got a band coming on at 7 p.m. Eastern to play some music, to try to light the mood up, to help us ease the pain.
Oh, damn, bro. This ain't no time for no music.
Thank y'all for coming on. That means a lot to me. I learned a lot. Hopefully y'all got a lot of information and inspiration as well. Thank y'all for watching. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.